brain slews, slick with ectoplasmic juice. Ecstatic energy, a fire that fuels our memory. With genealogy, with spiritual topography. Questions for your answers, we are data necromancers.
I like describing you to people as a cheese and cracker babe. She's a cheese and cracker babe.
Megan sees me for who I really am. Like, you said that to one of our guests, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, she's exposing my tender underbelly. I am a cheese and cracker babe.
She's a cheese and cracker babe.
It's a texture thing.
She's
I love
also
the
a
soft
dip.
cheese. I'm also a
dippy
dip
chip
head.
babe.
I'm also a dip head.
And it's an honor and a privilege to be in her proximity.
I'm on my weight loss journey.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost 200 pounds, borderline 190 when at my most pregnantest, down to 165.
Rock and roll, brother. I just want you to be happy.
When you have to go dairy-free, gluten-free, you hate everything. You hate your life. You just don't eat. You eat some rice and you go, this is horrible. and then you suffer. I am addicted to suffering.
She really is. She seeks out new ways to suffer every day. I wish I lived in a little tower above your kitchen.
I will build that out for you.
With a chute. And I would just shoot down breakfast for you, shoot down lunch for you, and shoot down dinner.
Yeah, lunch doesn't exist in my paradigm. Breakfast is gluten-free cereal. Not today, but it was a lot of work. And then I was cooking for more than just me. And
Right. In times like this, it'd be nice if you could just throw together like a little eggy, potatoey bake. Throw it in the oven.
I really miss... We did a consulting gig for that crazy person, that crazy lady. And
those little bites?
You and Aaron made a toast with goat cheese, toasted pistachios, blistered cherry tomatoes with garlic and chopped basil. If I could eat that every day for breakfast.
Yes.
It was like, it had all the textures. It had the creamy cheese, the toasty toast.
Tangy.
It was tangy, and it had crunchy pistachios, and then it had like fresh basil. And that's why I like Korean food too, because it's like you got the pickle, you got the spicy, you got the sweet, you got the salty. They're big on like accoutrements and textures and stuff. So
the banchan.
I've been on a Korean kick.
I made a pizza the other night. I taught pizza class, and I made a pizza after everybody left that had just like all the remnants that were left, and it was magically delicious. I had half a pound of ground pork left over from like doing a 3-person brunch, and I seasoned up the remaining half pound with fennel and chilies and a little oregano. I basically made it into spicy Italian sausage, and I put that on my pizza. I did jalapenos, tomatoes, pineapples, and then fresh basil when it came out. But like fresh basil and jalapenos and pineapple is such a lit combination. And then the savoriness of the sausage and the tomatoes and the chilies and the fennel. I was like,
I know like that.
I was like that. I know growing up, I was like, I just want cheese. I just want cheese. Like I wasn't ready for
the fucking flavor bomb,
flavor explosion. I couldn't appreciate it.
I'm concerned about Full Metal's dairy consumption.
What's he saying?
Well, he says I've been cooking more, but reverting to restaurant mode and adding fuck tons of butter and heavy cream. I was like, are you? What's happening?
Wait, he has butt cream? I missed the beginning.
Whitney creamy oat milk is a legit good substitute for milk. This is true. And then I was reading about how much seed oil is in it and then how bad seed oils are for you. But we're in this like hemorrhage of a timeline where everything's bad for you. And oat milk is... I got an oat milk that doesn't have seed milk in it, and it's from that same company.
Don't these precautions about consuming things that are like carcinogenic or whatever, it's like, cancer causing, isn't that like precluded on a study where people took or animals took like huge amounts of the substance?
No, the process in which you extract seed oils is inherently using a lot of solvents. It's a really bad practice.
Oh, so it's not the seed oils themselves, but it's
the
like the way they're
process.
derived?
Yes.
Well, fuck manufacturers then.
Well, that and then it's like there's tons of oils like olive oil, all the oils that are easy to extract and not super bad for the environment.
It's these fucking corporations that just care about the profit that will feed us poison every day, all day.
But then I was like, well, how much
Dude, Murphy,
are you really
what the fuck?
eating?
Are you gonna tell him what's up? We need to get more vegetables into your life, more whole grains.
You know, every time I eat a salad, I question my existence because it does not agree with me. And it was so funny because I Googled, like, why does lettuce give me diarrhea? And it's the first thing, like, everybody on Google's, because you did, why does lettuce? And the first populated answer is give me diarrhea. And Google gives you no, it's like, well, maybe.
Isn't it
it puts
because
the ball
of
back
the-
in your court. And you're like, no, I think, personally, I think there's something on the lettuce that's sprayed. Or because when I eat lettuce from Salt and Thyme, it doesn't happen.
Right. So we need
And
to
that's
get
how
you...
I knew. I was like, oh shit, when I eat lettuce grown in Austin, it's fine. But if I
Yeah.
eat lettuce from the grocery store, it's like fucking poopy World War III. And
No.
I'm the Black Hawk of... I'm not even gonna finish that.
What a good analogy. Well, Dan gets a CSA and he went away for 5 days and gave me like a bunch of Swiss chard and a bunch of collards and a bunch of turnips. And
Tell the people, tell the lovely Ma Pod, all three of them,
Hello.
our dedicated fans, our ride or dies, what you fucking did with those turnips, babe. Because she texted me this and I crashed my car and everybody died and then I had to go see somebody about living again.
I sliced, they were like these Japanese harakiri turnips or whatever, the little white creamy ones. And I sliced them kind of thickly and then I cut them into half moons and I sauteed them in bacon fat, you know, with a generous amount of salt and everything. And then once they were tender, I added maple syrup and kind of glazed them. And I ate them on rice. That is all.
Just like turnips glazed with maple syrup.
Turnips always want like a little bit of a sweet glaze. I don't know. It's like their earthiness. And of course, bacon maple is just like the most dreamiest combo.
Bacon maple turnips.
So yummy. I think the greens were a little bit too yellow. I was dreaming of chopping up the greens and folding them in at the last minute.
They're hard. They can be like...
They were a little yellow.
You have to be tuned into the green to understand when it's done.
Yeah. And so that was delicious. And I felt the vitality of the earth being, you know, restored to my body. And I was like, damn it, I need to eat more vegetables.
Well, that's so funny you say that. I have a Japanese cookbook about postpartum, and they talk about all the different vegetables. Well, they also eat a lot of offals because you're restoring, like, to them, you are most vulnerable after giving birth, and you're not allowed to leave your bed in 40 days. So you have all
Holy
the
shit.
matriarchs come over and they feed you seaweed soup and pig livers and like a really amazing array of different stuff for like grounding purposes and warming purposes.
Eating hearts and livers and stuff makes a lot of sense postpartum because you lose so much iron through all the blood and all the stuff that you give to the baby. That's so smart. What the fuck? What does our culture do? They don't even give you maternity leave.
Murder everyone. And so you murder all the indigenous people, and then when you're angry and you feel like you've been wrong, you go to the gun store and you buy a gun, and then you murder everybody that wronged you. And then
you get addicted to opioids.
and then you get addicted to opioids, and then you go to jail for opioids, and then and then you pay 30% on taxes, and you don't really see much back in return.
And you protest wars abroad, but
Yeah, and then the president signs a $96 or $3 billion war aid package to a country that has free health care.
they emphasize your individual power, but it's really just spending power as a consumer. They don't want you to be worried about wars abroad because they don't want you to stop shopping.
I want to know when all these motherfuckers die, and there's a lot of them in charge right now. I don't know if they'll ever die. They might sleep in pods full of jism.
Alien jism?
No, just jism. Jism.
I was going to say earlier, the jism on the lettuce is what's giving you diarrhea.
Oh, yeah. Shout out.
Shout out Seth.
Shout
Or
out Set and
Was that Horace?
the mother
Hortuk?
the fucking terrorist group.
Sukar? Sikanata. Yeah.
I don't remember.
And yesterday, the pro-Palestine demonstration at UT was dispersed semi-violently by state troopers. I just feel so bad for these kids who are trying to like affect change in their world, and they're just met with, you know, government oppression, resistance. What are the boys saying now?
Nick says seed oils sound like the process for chicken McNuggets that are legal in the USA but are not sold in other countries because of the formaldehyde. They need to make it in the US. Yes, exactly. And then
Magic nuggets.
Magic says there will always be terrible people in charge. They are inevitable. It's just a continuous cycle of people who want power to abuse it. Yeah, baby.
I know the truth.
I know it's I don't know any people our age who are active in politics, which
Seems like such a yucky path to take.
I know, but you gotta, I don't know.
It's like,
Or we just burn it all down.
I think our population is too vast
Or we just
for us
move,
to
I don't
ever
know.
have a sort of positive effect on
What
government.
about
I don't want to give up. But,
board of Jedis?
well,
That
if we
can't be
revisit what
bought.
happened in Star Wars, the dark side was a little too attractive for some.
We're obsessed with one holy leader.
Right.
We love it. We love one guy. One guy to rule them all.
Chancellor, so-called Chancellor Palpatine, he was the fucking Sith Lord. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. In other news,
Yeah, babe.
I've been reading this really cool book.
You sent me a very long...
I wasn't sure. When I read
was
this
on the
book,
way to
I'm
a
like, I want to
farm.
read this whole thing to Whitney. But yeah, I sent
here.
you a good section
I'm here
of
to
it.
listen.
I brought a piece of it to read aloud so that we could then discuss the part that I had read. So Brian Greene is a physicist. He wrote books called The Elegant Universe and Fabric of the Cosmos, which I read years and years ago, 8 to 10 years ago. And I was going through the library and I saw that he had another book. He wrote this one in 2020. So, I don't know, 4 years out. Not too far for science. But there's this part, he started to talk about consciousness and how science can't really solve the hard problem of consciousness because so much
Because we're using our consciousness to try to solve it.
Exactly. So much of what it is like subjective inner experience.
Yes.
And it's not
yes.
accessible to the typical methods that science uses to
Right, you can't have group A and group
hypothesize
B.
and test and, you know, create replicable experiments with a predictable outcome. So I love that as a physicist, he's attempting to like breach those topics. So let's see. So he's talking about quantum physics now, which I feel like is the right direction to go in.
The tiny.
The teeny. Okay, so as with the representation of the Ferrari, he talks about, seeing a Ferrari and your experience of red, your experience of light, your the integration and differentiation of all the information that you get from seeing a Ferrari, your consciousness does all that work, but you don't see the mechanisms behind the consciousness working. Like you said, because you're trying to see you're like trying to see your consciousness with your consciousness. Okay, let me get a good part here. As with the representation of the Ferrari, and as with your representation of the attention of others, the representation of your own attention leaves out vast swaths of details. It ignores the underlying neuronal firings, the information processing, and complex signal exchanges that generate your focus, and instead sketches the attention itself, what in common language we normally call our awareness. And this,
because if we did have access to all those, we wouldn't do anything.
We wouldn't function.
You would be buffering.
We'd be unable to function
so often, and you would not survive.
And I think that's so cool of us to realize.
You'd get eaten.
According to Graziano, is the heart of why conscious experience seems to float unmoored in the mind. When the brain's penchant for simplified schematic representations is applied to itself, to its own attention, the resulting description ignores the very physical processes responsible for that attention. That is why thoughts and sensations seem ethereal, as if they come from nowhere, as if they hover in our heads. If your schematic representation of your body were to leave out your arms, the motion of your hands would seem ethereal too. And that is why conscious experience seems utterly distinct from the physical processes carried out by our particulate and cellular constituents. The hard problem seems hard, consciousness seems to transcend the physical, only because our schematic mental models suppress cognizance of the very brain mechanics that connect our thoughts and sensations to their physical underpinnings.
That we know of.
But I love it. As a physicist, he's trying to attack these hard problems. But it's like, how can we actually understand what consciousness is and how it's generated? Like, where's the seat of consciousness? Like, what test could we possibly undertake in order to discover that? Like, with certainty.
It's so hard because it's like, Toaster asked that. He's like, do you think AI will solve consciousness as it's outside of it? But we created it. So don't you think it's inherently biased if we're the ones who propagated it? Or will it take off to a point where it's no longer influenced by the people who designed it or created it? And if it was up there, then it could help us understand consciousness?
Well, it begs the question, is it possible for AI to sort of get too big for its britches and go beyond what we've programmed it to do?
Well, and how does he, so he's describing
the problem itself.
But then it's like, okay, the CIA used remote viewing of people who were really good at remote viewing.
Yeah.
And we have countless hundreds of cases of projecting consciousness, remote viewing, seeing into somebody else's head.
Yeah.
Experiences you can't describe. There's so many.
You can't explain the physical mechanism.
You can't explain. There was one that was described on the science show that I was watching where the mom, her kids were on a road trip with their dad, and the mom fucking woke up at 3 a.m., started calling the cops. Something's wrong with my kid, something's wrong with her. And this was in the early 70s or whatever. You know, and that moment was when her kids were in a car crash and one of them died. But she had proof that she had reached out to all these people and was trying to get a hold of, you know, it's like, how do you explain? But then we were talking about hive mind, you know.
Right.
And AI is populating in a way where it's harnessing all the computers that are using AI, and the bigger it gets, the more powerful it gets. So it's like, what happens if we tap into the collective net of consciousness throughout people and
Right. I think that's what this guy is getting at. It's like there has to be a way that the laws that we know about nature, or the way that nature behaves, there's got to be a way for us to describe that instance. Like undeniable instances of like people being psychic, knowing things that they really shouldn't know, seeing things that they really can't see with their eyes. But there has to be a scientific explanation for how that's possible.
Well, and if you think about it right now, we really don't know a lot about, like, science has kind of hit the glass ceiling with consciousness.
Because they can't figure out, like, the probabilistic nature of quantum mechanics is like, what? It's like 45% chance for it to be over here, but it's occupying both places until it's observed.
I forget, what does observed mean in the...
I thought about what
he's probably not on the chat
Corgi
anymore.
said. Let me see where Brian Greene mentions it.
We are just now starting to change how drugs are studied, because they've been studied the same way for 100 years. And now people are saying, hey, if you have a control group and you're giving them a placebo and they are going to die unless they are given this medicine, that's unethical.
Absolutely.
You cannot keep testing people in this really outdated modality.
It's archaic.
So we're like just now starting to change a little
Dude,
bit of
we
stuff.
are fucking mudfish just getting out of the water.
Yes.
So, okay. The problem is, the more we've worked, the weirder things have become. There is nothing in quantum equations that shows how reality transitions from the fuzzy mixture of many possibilities to the single definite outcome you witness upon undertaking a measurement. In fact, if we assume, as seems utterly sensible, that the same successful quantum equations apply not just to the electrons and other particles you may be studying, but also to the electrons that make up your equipment, that make you up, those making up your brain, and then according to the mathematics, the transition shouldn't happen at all. If an electron is hovering both here and there, then your equipment should find that it is both here and there. Upon reading the equipment's display, your brain should think the electron is both here and there. That is, after you perform a measurement, the quantum fuzziness of the particles you are studying should infect your equipment, your brain, and presumably your conscious awareness, causing your thoughts to hover in a fuzzy mixture of multiple outcomes. And yet, after each and every measurement, you report nothing of the sort. You report that you witnessed a single definite result. The challenge, known as the quantum measurement problem, is to resolve the puzzling disparity between the fuzzy quantum reality described by the equations and the sharp, familiar reality you consistently experience. So there seems to be some quality of consciousness that decides.
I think, I can't wait, and maybe we'll see it in our lifetime, where the switch is flipped, and instead of us not interfering with anything and really trying to witness things, hypothetical instances through equations, which is really the only way you can go down to that level. But I want to see what happens when the switch is flipped and we make a jump to a new discovery of how we think about it. And maybe that
and what thinking about it does to it.
Yeah, and to me, the obvious next step to that is using your mind to alter it.
Exactly. Understanding how our minds alter things.
You're like,
instead of just haphazardly sort of,
oh, well, and then it's like that.
It's like that. It's like the true power and place in the universe and all of the beautiful mathematics that describe the universe of consciousness. And then, where does consciousness fit into that schematic?
And once we start understanding how to use it to our advantage in an observational sense,
in a repeatable, sort of reliable, predictable way.
Yes, is when I think we'll start making leaps and bounds.
Because we know that consciousness itself has power to affect change.
Right.
Because, you know, groups of people getting together and praying or thinking or doing something specific can make something happen without like physical intervention. And there's countless examples of people who have access to things that they would never have access to. So I think you can't really deny that there's something that we just don't understand about it at all.
Or what does the CIA know? And the things that they were using that a long time ago. Mm-hmm. What's the stuff that they're keeping from science that they're using to their advantage? Because if they go, oh, well, the Chinese fucking get it, then we're done. You know, the things that they hold, the cards that they hold close so that they don't.
My intuition tells me that the CIA would act on something that had a chance of being effective without actually understanding how it does what it does. Like, they would do something if there was a chance that it would be effective, even though they didn't really know what was going on.
Right. Yeah. And they've been doing stuff like that for a long time. I'm thinking like more X-Files.
Right. Like, no, I automatically think of Krychek and all that shit.
We've got a whole department that you're never gonna fucking see.
Fox Mulder. Yeah, but it's exciting to think that there are really intelligent people who are dedicated to that discovery, and not in an effort to sort of blank it out, like, because for so many years scientists are like, if it's not observable, you know, in objective reality sense, then it doesn't exist.
Instead, there's the quantum physicists who are like a little bit batshit crazy, who are able to navigate the hypothetical realms of because absolute and utter mystery.
If you understand that everything is made of matter, and matter is composed of particles, and then you start to look at how particles behave, it's like, how is anything
it's almost
in
like
a
you're
solid
not,
state?
It's almost like you're not supposed to look at that.
It's like a little too close.
It's a little the curtain was never supposed to be peeked behind.
Yeah, I don't think our brains are equipped to understand that level of reality. But
do you think
I love
Murphy
that people
understands that level of reality?
I don't think Murphy,
dude, he looks at you in a way I've never seen him look at anybody else.
There's no reason for him to wonder anything but like,
why his dick
am I
itches.
gonna eat? Why does my dick
Dude,
itch?
I watched some baby cows 69ing yesterday at the farm, and they wouldn't stop 69ing, and I was like, does somebody want to do something, or are they just gonna do this forever? Or they did it the entire time we were there. It was so fucking weird. I also want to know what number it should be if it's baby cows doing it, like sucking each other's giblets
88
off. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, I mean, yeah, it's documented that animals enjoy pleasure.
Yeah, they do. But these ones, I'm like,
and they don't have incest taboos.
Yeah, no, they're fucking, they're squirting out one-eyed babies. And dude, I turned around and Pam was like petting this emaciated baby goat. It was like a skeleton, and it was spraying diarrhea everywhere, and I was like, that's the one you're touching?
Wait,
you're not
why was it emaciated?
I don't know. There was something wrong with it. I'm sure that's just part of
go lay down.
Farm life.
Down.
Go. Oops, stepping on. Yeah, nice. Barf and eat it. Go away. God. I'm never having two dogs ever again. One is enough. Two is too many.
Ooh, Lord. Yeah, so every morning I just wake up and drink coffee and read some of that book. It gets me started in the right place.
Mysticism.
Scientific mysticism.
Quantum mysticism.
All that there is and what lies beneath. It's dorp. I'm into it. I have to reread a lot of paragraphs because I'm like thinking about elephants and stuff.
It's hard to listen to. you know, like
Right,
you
right,
want to
right.
see it. You
Right.
want to read it with your eyeballs. God, I made a Mopod note.
She's got notes.
I made a Mopod note.
She's got notes.
I made a Mopod note.
That live inside her phone.
Oh, it was about Scandinavian women spies. Apparently.
Who are they?
They used a lot. They mostly used women as spies, and that's all that I got.
Why women? I mean, we can
feel like-
speculate.
Let's speculate. Women just...
Women are intuitive.
They're
Women are seductive.
We're psychological creatures versus mostly physical. We like to deep dive into the brains.
We like to talk. We like to chat.
Talk. We like to fucking talk. Yeah, we're empathetic. We can get somebody right where it tickles.
That's true.
Right where it itches. Make them confess.
I don't know if it's being a woman or growing up the way that I did, but I do feel like when I'm talking with someone, I can like get more from them by looking at them than by what they're actually saying.
Yes. I think that's half of being a medium. Is just understanding the subtleties and the nuances in energy and facial expressions and body behavior, and that's like a big part of the equation.
The idea of having that power is scary to me because so often I'll like be talking to someone and they seem like really mad at me, and I'm like, wait, is this like a low self-esteem thing, or is this like in reality they're mad at me and trying to hide it? So there's like,
Or they're just mad and it's not at you.
Sure. Yeah, true. Yeah, but Scandinavian spies, who are they spying on?
This is the Scandinavian spies who helped win World War II. God damn it, I wish Baba was here because he's the one that told me about it.
Well, let's think about what won World War II. Hitler was the menace, right? Hitler was gobbling up countries, so there must have been someone spying on where he would be, right?
It's crazy how he was coming for the West. He was over it.
And it was all because he was a shitty artist, right? A racist, shitty artist.
I don't know, they took pages of eugenics from America. That was us.
Well, our civilization, our United States civilization was founded on white supremacy.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that we created
That's why
the
abortion
eugenics
clinics got big in certain parts of town.
They were trying to kill
only-
all black children.
Only certain parts of town. Oh, and just poor people in general.
Right. So that's not surprising to me, even though eugenics has been discredited numerous times
Oh, yeah.
as a fake science. It's just like phrenology or whatever, like the measurements of the skull.
Look at fucking
Fuck
Davis,
off.
right? Opposite of a purebred. Opposite. Nobody knows what he is. Never
So
seen a
beautiful.
dog like him. You
Such a
get the
beautiful
most
boy.
beautiful combinations of DNA the further you get away from each other.
Right. And it seems like something we should have intuited earlier on because of how frail and disgusting royal families were. Just like
Just pale
rife
and
with
translucent,
anemia and like
big skulls.
just awful genetics. But there was this idea that there was something divine about this particular family line, and they were given the right to rule over us by God, and so we can't have any, bastardized lineages that include any like poor people.
My most recent threat in the bouts of motherhood and the throes of motherhood is, Ruby, I swear to God, I'm going to leave here. I'm going to go guard the last splinter of Jesus Christ's cross in fucking Rome, okay? There was this Filipino guy. He like left his family in the Philippine years for 15 years to go guard one of the
Piece of the true cross.
alleged splinters of the cross, and how that's how he fulfilled his duty. And I was like, dude, I'll go do that right now. I won't fucking leave this
I'll guard
shit.
a fucking dandelion. Just leave me alone.
You get a bowl of fucking gruel every day, and I'll sit in front of that.
Doesn't it seem so luxurious?
Yes, it does. It really does.
To just sit in contemplation. Like, it's hard because you have to be one with yourself and all of that shit. But
the splinter is in the... Who was Constantine's mom? Saint Helena?
Yeah.
She built... So this is where it is in her... temple. She
church.
Brought a shit ton of soil from Jerusalem and put it underneath her little church that she built
In Constantinople, right? Because she was really pivotal in making Constantine like the first Christian emperor. Because she was very devout. And then her pilgrimage to Jerusalem to basically steal
There's only
artifacts.
There's only 420,000 churches named. Oh yeah, I don't know. It's in Europe somewhere. You gotta watch that show, fucking Mysteries of the Faith, and it's all about relics.
I fuck with relics.
And that was one of the relics in there. Did you know, dude, that one of the relics is fucking Jesus's umbilical cord?
No.
Yeah. Hold on, I was looking at a list of relics, and I was like, wait, the holy umbilical cord is on there?
Dude, grind it up and make it into holy meatballs.
I will eat it. I will eat it like beef jerky. I want to trip so fucking hard.
It's far more desiccated than beef jerky, I assume. But we can reconstitute it. Wait, if they have Mary's umbilical cord, wouldn't that mean they have Jesus' DNA? Is this like a Dan Brown? Is this a Da Vinci Code thing?
Relic.
Is this like Jesus' descendants are among us? Maybe it's like Genghis Khan, where he's
the
like...
The holy umbilical cord.
Dude.
Relics associated with Jesus. Oh.
C'est Jésus, bon Jean du amour, le Christ est né, Marie appelle.
At various points in history, a number of churches in Europe have claimed to possess the holy prepuce. Jesus' foreskin from his circumcision. Dude, eat that shit.
Dude.
Eat that shit.
Dude, make a dumpling out of Jesus' foreskin.
Tears shed by Christ when he was mourning Lazarus, the blood of Christ shed during his crucifixion, a milk tooth that fell out of the mouth of Jesus at age 9, his beard, his head hair, his nails, and a section of the holy umbilical cord believed to remain from the birth of Christ is currently in the Archbasilica of St. John Lateran. We're going, baby. You and I are going to stare at the flake of what's assumed to be the holy
tip of God's penis. That is so wacky.
Dude,
because they didn't even know he was God until he was 35, right? Or 34? How did they have the foresight to save his foreskin and his umbilical cord if they didn't
be a picture?
If they didn't know he was God? There's a picture?
Oh!
No. What? This is a finger. What is this? Whose finger is that?
Oh, it's a finger.
You thought it was a dick?
I thought it was the umbilical cord.
This is the finger of the great astronomer Galileo.
Okay, that's sick.
Okay, that is sick.
Okay, that's sick.
Which finger, though? That makes me wonder. Was it his index finger? Was it pointing towards celestial greatness?
Galileo was under house arrest for life. It's his middle finger.
Galileo, I was going to say he was the one behind the Copernican revolution, but that doesn't make sense.
His three fingers have been united.
Was he under house arrest because of his heliocentrism? He discovered the moons of Jupiter, the rings of Saturn. Didn't Galileo discover a lot of heavenly bodies? Galileo Figaro Magnifico.
Responding to mounting controversy over theology, astronomy, and philosophy, the Roman Inquisition tried Galileo in 1633 and found him vehemently suspect of heresy and sentenced him to house arrest, where he remained until he died.
I knew he was a heretic. All brave scientists are heretical. Because they don't subscribe to your religious dogma, man.
It's crazy to throw somebody in jail for thinking a certain way.
That's what the Inquisition was all about. The Inquisition was boiling people in oil because they were praying to Allah instead of...
It's Turbo Time says they pardoned him in 2000.
Dude, the Catholic Church has been trying to backpedal on so much evil shit that they've been behind.
Suck. You guys fucking suck.
It's like, oh, we have a liberal pope now, and we're really sorry for...
There's not nameless child graves all over the place whose dicks were sucked off. God.
Fuck, dude.
God, they're so evil.
That is so wild that they saved Galileo's middle finger. How did it get removed? Did it get removed when he was alive?
There it is.
Foreskin?
The umbilical cord.
Is it? Oh, it's enshrined there in the statue. You fucking know that if you were in the presence of the holy umbilical cord, that you would fucking feel that shit.
Well, I want to know, regardless of if it's his or not, it's really, 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 really old.
It's dust. It's just dust. There's probably nothing in there. It's just the collective belief that it's something. I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me.
Can we open up a church called the Collective Belief of Something?
Yeah.
And we imbue objects with...
It's like, I won't tell you where I got this from, but let's make up a story of where it came from and then all believe it together.
In like Constantine, I mean, like, they fought wars over trying to move sacred relics.
Absolutely, because they believed that the physical objects were imbued with divine power, and so wherever those objects were stationed, that would be... Because that was Helena's whole thing. She was trying to make Constantine's city the new Jerusalem. And they were, it's all just like global economics and shit.
Because she couldn't go just live there?
Well, it probably had something to do with her son and her wanting her son to be a successful emperor.
In Hellboy, they use shit like this as weapons.
I need to watch Hellboy. I'm a huge fan of the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie.
We never finished that. It's hard for you and I to watch a movie because we were just talking the whole time.
Yeah. I wish we could just have a sleepover and eat popcorn and fucking drink cocktails and watch Constantine.
3 years. In 3 years, that's totally possible.
Hell yeah. But yes, the physical power of holy relics. When I was doing a food blog like 2013, 2016, it was called Food for the Reliquary. A reliquary is where holy relics are housed.
There's a big one in Pennsylvania. It's like,
what does it hold?
Oh my God. It's insane.
What's intriguing to you about holy relics? What do you think about them?
Just a fucking stash of shit and I like how ornate the things that they, like, Mary Magdalene's skull is in that fucking Futurama astronaut thing.
So sick.
The umbilical cord's in this statue, and it's in this little, the piece, the titulus, the Christ titulus, the titulus of the cross, which is Helena. She went and found his fucking Titulus.
Or so she believed.
Yeah, it said, I mean, or so she believed, but she also spent like years digging where the site was, because that wasn't a mystery or anything. And she spent a lot of time in Jerusalem.
Golgotha, the Hill of Skulls,
and
or
it's
something.
like this piece of wood, and part of it says, and it was written, this was before English took over, it was written in Hebrew, Latin,
Aramaic,
and it says like King of Nazareth, because that was
INRI.
That was his crime.
Jesus Nazarensis. What is it?
Jesus Nazarensis.
Because his name was not Jesus. His name was like Yeshua, which is also where the name Joshua comes from. But yeah, the INRI thing was sort of like the Romans making fun of him. It's like, oh, this motherfucker thinks he's king of the Jews.
A Pittsburgh church holds the greatest collection of relics outside of the Vatican.
Dude, let's go. Is that on the way? Can that be on the way to Minnesota?
It's way out of the way, but we can go.
Well, we want to do a road trip in the camper to your homeland.
Mollinger's Chapel is purportedly home to 22 splinters of the true cross in which Jesus was crucified, a scrap of the Virgin Mary's veil, the bones of all 12 Jesus's apostles.
All their bones or just some of their bones?
Some of their bones. His most prized relic was a molar from St. Anthony, the only part of the saint kept outside of his hometown of Padua, Italy.
Wait, they even have Judas bones?
After blessings
Judas
the
one of the
afflicted,
disciples.
Mollinger would often touch their injuries with a golden cross-shaped reliquary that stored remains from multiple saints. He's just like a fancy hoarder. And I'm like, you've got teeth.
Holy bone
teeth
hoarder.
Of there's something like creepy and decadent, and
It's very creepy, and it's like it belies a belief of like everlasting essence. It's like, okay, so you believe, and this obviously tracks with Christianity, you believe that your body will always be your body. Even when you're dead and you're disintegrated and you're returned to dust, you are still constituent in all of your pieces.
also inside of it, they have footage inside that docuseries you're going to go home and watch about relics. Yeah. They have footage inside the Pittsburgh church, and it's crazy looking. Like, it's just everything. It's like being inside of a computer. It's
hell yeah. Dude, new aesthetic. Baroque Catholic fucking ornate motherboard shit.
Yeah.
Oh!
Like made of like little bones and molars.
Yo, it's like steampunk but with computers
cool.
and bones.
Steampunk.
But so, God, I just feel like the saints enjoy like a special elevated kind of
Can we start a YouTube series where we try to become saints?
I don't want to be recognized by the Catholic Church for doing anything.
Really like,
fuck you. Saints in the new way. Saints of the collective thought experiment.
We've got 6 minutes left. Life updates. I don't have the burden of childcare right now, so I'm like, oh yeah,
let's just chill.
What do you want to fucking talk about? I don't feel pressured. Usually the pressure creates the nice little nougats, but I'm like straight chilling right now.
That's what you should do. Just let it flow. Okay, so we'll go to Pittsburgh. We'll rub our genitals on all of the sacred objects.
We'll try to steal some too.
Yes. Dude, what's the punishment for stealing a holy relic?
In America,
they'll probably cut off our hands.
20 licks. I want a list. What relics are in St. Anthony's Church?
St. Anthony's fucking molar, dude.
He has the floating rib of St. Anthony.
How does the rib float? Oh, it's one of the ribs that, wait.
Oh, but no, that's the one in Italy that has the rib of him.
In Padua.
Oh, God.
I love the mystery of Catholicism. I dig it. I studied it. I love it. But
Did you know
it's
the
like
Nazis raided St. Anthony's tomb and stole his body?
the Nazis fucked up a lot of shit. They stole a lot of art. They ransacked a lot of places. They destroyed a lot of shit. They were trying to institute a new world order.
Turbo Time says there's a Pawn Star episode where someone tried to sell them a religious relic and they wouldn't touch it. LOL.
Yeah, because people believe that objects are infectious. They have something in them that they don't want to touch. Like that dude, Damien. His whole thing is objects,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Objects
I wonder
that
how
get...
he's doing.
You should check in.
I should check in with him.
See what's going on. Great pod, bro.
Dude, I got invited 2 days before my birthday on the fucking motorcycle trip with Sarah and her teacher.
Are you going?
I have to somehow figure it out.
Do it. You should do it.
I have to go.
That'll be a transformative experience, I'm sure.
I'll strap a poochie to my face.
Poochie!
Poochie,
You can't
poochie,
take
poochie,
Poochie
poochie,
on a
poo.
moto.
Oh, Poochie.
No. Maybe if you had a sidecar.
The way little feet curl up under, like when they're on their bellies, and their little feet curl up underneath their butts is like,
Poochie.
Pooch.
She's sleeping this whole time?
Yeah, dude, she's a sleepy little punchy baby.
Dang. Yeah, she's a miracle. She's incredible.
I want to eat her.
You shouldn't eat her because you put a lot of work into making her.
I just want to eat her. Yeah, she belongs back in my belly.
No, I'm not sure because when she goes through your belly, she's gotta
come out.
She's gotta come out that bottom. That bottom.
Then that's a holy relic.
Oh shit! The turd of the holy baby. This was Jesus.
Did anybody save any of Jesus's diapers?
No, there's like owl pellets or something weird. Like Jesus coughed this up, and you should rub it all over your throat if you have throat cancer. That's the type of Catholic science that they were doing in medieval times. They were like, oh, do you have a hurt finger? Here's St. Anthony's fucking finger. Rub it on there, and this will be good. It's
Just
like
deep fry it and put it underneath your eyelid, and it'll
like
cure you of butthole
what is it
cancer.
called when it's like a simile? No, it's like bucket duck. It's like if you had a chicken illness, you should eat chicken-shaped mushrooms. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Walnuts are good for your brain. And
Yeah,
like brains,
yeah, exactly. I don't know what that's called,
If
but
you have a chicken illness, you should eat a chicken-shaped mushroom. Yeah, babe, I got you.
yeah, she
I got
knew.
you. Get on my level. Get on my level. Actually, I told Lucas he'll like not speak because he's trying to make it come out.
Just
I was
let
like,
it flow.
don't.
Bring it out.
The logic will make me lost on it too. use the garbage words. Use the words on the floor.
Yeah.
To like sweep up a pile of nonsense, and that's how I can communicate better.
It's cool to try and formulate a thought outside of your brain. Like,
Okay, I want to print out shirts because I forgot that we had that beautiful logo made.
oh shit.
We should have quotes and one of them is, we have a chicken disease, chicken shaped mushroom.
Oh shit. There's so many good ones.
Dude, Megan's got chicken diseases on the
If you have a chicken disease. Well, I don't know. I was just thinking of chicken-shaped mushrooms.
Yeah, I didn't know which one to pick for that. I didn't know if you were more just thinking about chickens or the mushrooms.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Or I'm sure there's ones where if you are impotent or you can't get a boner, that you just eat something phallic.
You fucking dig out Constantine's
You
dick
lick
bone.
the tip of Constantine's cock bone.
I think you and I should try to steal this foreskin of Jesus Christ. I think you and I should legit try to do that. There's no armed guards there.
But why not? It's such a precious relic.
We'll replace it with something else.
Dude, we have to replace the guards. We have to become...
Yeah.
We'll apply to protect the foreskin, but then actually steal it. It'll be the greatest heist
But
in the history of
uniform
Pittsburgh.
will be reliquary steampunk.
We're wearing like bone necklaces and shit.
It's like golden bones. We'll look like future cops. We'll look like religious future cops.
Oh, the Fifth Element aesthetic is similar because it's
I just
like
want it a little bit more ornate.
yes, there you
Like
need to
Dune.
have like the gold.
Everything they wore in Dune, I wanted to wear.
Oh fuck yeah! Like that veil with all the knives on it.
yes.
That was so cool. The costume design, everything about the Dune movies was amazing to me. I especially loved the soundtrack, which you know. The costumes were incredible. Yeah. Are we gonna talk about Dune now? I feel like we have 30 seconds left.
Dune. I meant to take Lucas to see movies with his spiritual child. Just gonna have to skip it.
Why? Did we both just get the same text?
Yeah, baby. You know LEA.
Oh, is it popping off?
Victor Noir's grave and what women do to it for fertility.
Do they hump it?
Do they hump it? Do they squeeze a bean on it? They flick a bean, not squeeze a bean.
Squeeze it at first. Wake it up.
You gotta slap it a little bit.
You gotta gently coax the bean into being awake, and then you can flick it. Don't start off.
Turbo Time says, are you going to the Honda launch with Doodle? I would love to go to the Honda launch if it wasn't for a fucking week. Nobody's going. Doodle was going to send me in her place, but nobody can go.
Why is it a week long?
That is... I don't know if any YouTuber could make a week work. I'm sure press journalists could make a week
Where
work.
is it happening?
Northern California.
Yeah, you would have to make it into a whole shebang and do other stuff there as well.
That's too long. But I'm flying out to Virginia on Monday to film a doodle video. At the International Raceway.
Are you going to hang out with my mom?
I'm going to go see your mom. I'm going to stop at your mom's house.
Mom.
Hey.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, ma'am.
What are you up to?
Feed me.
I need to call my mom.
Oh.
I got to check in on her.
You haven't heard from her?
No, we say like good morning and good night, but like the stuff in between is what's most important, and that's what I'm not getting.
Uh-oh.
I'll talk off cam.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody, loyal fans.
God bless you, and may you walk
We're gonna come
in
out with
peace.
Mapod jerseys. Everybody's gonna get their own jersey.
Dude, a jersey would be
a jersey
tight.
would be really sick.
What? Did you
Wonder
just come up with that?
Yeah.
Let's
wonder
do jerseys.
How much?
Like
does it
basketball
cost?
jerseys.
Yeah. How much does it cost to make a jersey?
$33.99. We'll sell them for $50. They're a collector's item.
Fucking Mapod jerseys. We'll have hockey jerseys,
That's
basketball
tight.
jerseys.
What? We gotta do jerseys now. I need more jerseys. I don't have any jerseys. What am I doing?
We gotta go to New Jersey.
We gotta go to New Jersey and get some joyceys. God bless. Watch out for the holy foreskin.
Holy foreskin. And we're gonna come up with a Mapod cereal called Holy Foreskin.
Holy foreskin. Wait, that's a great idea.
And we'll put a splinter of the True Cross in there as a prize.
And if you find it and you don't choke on it, then you win the sweepstakes.
Then you get crucified.